Hello world, I'm Farsight, and welcome or welcome back to Techtonica. And welcome back. So a lot has happened here. I put the power in that I discussed, and I got a couple of them going, and then I did a third because we were running low on power, and then I realized if I did a fourth, it would get the power up to 9,000. So why not? We're currently running using under 4 megawatts of the 9 megawatts available to us. We can grow for a bit without having to make this bigger. And as planned, I was able to dig back into this wall. You can see on the mini-map just how far this goes. And we can keep going. But this is the right length for the number of water wheels I have here. So the next step was putting stuff at the next level higher. And indeed, I have placed all of the purple science cores. And then I went to the top and I dug out some vertical stuff to give us some more space. Our current tasks are to use assemblers to make Plantmatter Frames, and then use assemblers to make processor units. So those all come, the Plantmatter Frames come directly from these guys. And we've got a ton of them. Let me grab my overflow bucket here. And let's just delete those. So the Kindlevine farm has been running for a long time. And I am thinking that it wouldn't be a bad thing for me to shut it down for a bit, because we have plenty of its output. So to do that, I am going to just rotate that out of the way. So the thresher is going to stop when it has all the seeds it can hold. And then once the thresher stopped, we will end up backing up along this line. And at some point, either these guys will run out of seeds, or maybe there will be seeds available, but it won't be able to drop its output. So that'll be fine. And when I turn the inserter back to normal to get that going again, it will continue. Meanwhile, that means that we are going to reduce our output here, and we will stop filling these chests that are basically, we have a lot of materials. Oh, the other thing that I did, I added 2 more miners and 2 more smelters to the copper area. So our copper is coming faster. Mainly I did that to verify that we could actually sink that much fuel. And I think the fuel is staying backed up above, so we're good. Now if we look up above, we see that we are pretty level out here. Yeah, the fuel is backed up all the way to the threshers, and the threshers are beginning to back up. So we are apparently producing fuel just slightly faster than we're using it, which was our goal. So, next step is to produce Plantmatter Frames. So, we've got 30 Plantmatter fiber coming per minute. I want to put my assemblers on F5. Let's drop one out here just to see where we are. So Plantmatter Frames use just the Plantmatter fiber. And down the lower left, we see we take 60 in and turn out 15. So this will have all the plant matter. So 3 of these machines, so we're going to get 90. So 1.5 machines to sink all of that. I think I'm just going to do 1 machine. So there we go. And out the other side, I'm just going to put them in a box for now. Whoops. We really only need 1 of these because it is only turning out 15 per minute. The input is 60 per minute. Oh, that's not going to be enough inserters for this. Let's try this again. I'm going to put it like this. With the input of 60 per minute, we're going to need 3 of those. And our 15 per minute output still only requires 1. And I have space. I'll go ahead and put the other one down. He'll be running at half speed, but I will still give him that. So if we wanted to run through our backlog here, that would be easy. Just have this guy outputting instead of inputting, and do it here, so we're outputting onto the belt into the gaps. Not sure about that. Oh, I know what I can do. I am just going to wipe this out. This guy's running only half speed. Which means, oops, I forgot to program him. If this guy's grabbing the first, I forgot to program him too. This guy will be grabbing the first 60 per minute, which means this guy gets 30 per minute. He's going to need another 30 per minute from this guy, which means 2 long inserters will do it. Yeah, I don't have to move anything, I'll just do that. The other thing I want to do is I do want to drain this thing. So
local signal deciphered. Ingress PX0001. Report to production terminal Victor for triangulation.
I'm going to use 2 of my fast inserters to feed this guy. He'll take his 60 per minute out of the box. And I will just turn that in like that. So now we are turning out plant matter. We finished one of the tasks, and that has caused us to now have a marker on our HUD, that we will in a moment. We have a new signal.
Signal triangulated. New location added to HUD. Cartilage.
That's PX. That's X-ray, which that was the stuff that's added in 0.2. It's base building parts, and I'll tell you right now, it's a long way away. So we're going to finish messing around with automation first. That's how fast these are building up. Next thing is we want to make processor units. This should be getting 45 per minute in. I think what I'm going to do is put a separate box on this guy. Since the next thing we want to build are the processor units here. Processor units take Plantmatter Frames and electrical components. And the rates are 30, 30, and 30. So, there we go. And electrical components. Take iron ingots and copper wires. And we need to move 30 of them. I'll put 2 inserters there. But we only have 20 coming out here. I'm going to let this guy run slow rather than trying to do a balanced layout because we don't... I didn't plan this out. Electrical components need copper. This needs 20. We're going to do 20. This is going to be running at 2/3 speed, yada yada. This is going to do 20. This guy is copper. And he turns out 15. So we should be using 2 of these to feed this guy. I will work out exact ratios at some point in the future. We only need 1 of those. So we need iron coming in here and copper coming in there. Well, we have iron and copper over here. I just need to arrange to bring them through. Let's put in some splitters. And I'm going to bring it to here. Again, this is not a planned thing. This is the iron, so it goes to the first one. That'll get me my iron. And then above it, I can bring copper. So we should be getting our copper wire made here, feeding into the electronic parts here, feeding into processors, and we're going to dump the processors into a box. And it's going to take a moment before this all kicks off. There we go. So once we get 4 wire in, we should be able to make some electronic parts. There it goes. And this guy gets parts in, and boom, it starts making the processors. Now, part of this is that we need to produce stuff for Victor. I'm going to turn that job back on. So Victor wants iron and copper and processor units. So I want to automate moving those processor units back to Victor. We're kind of getting tall here. Victor wants iron and copper. We can bring that in. There's iron. And I can just bring the copper right off there as well. Yep. Now I could just go pick up the iron and copper and do it manually, but yeah, don't need to. And the other thing I want to automate is bringing in the processors. See, if I bring them in on the top here, I'm going to bring them over and in like that. Oh, if you have a problem with spaghetti belts, this might not be the right thing for you to be watching. Now, getting the processor units going, they're just going to come in this. Let's do one more here. There. So, our processor units are now being routed to Victor. We don't really need to capture any for ourselves. And we have these nice convenient rows of copper and iron just sitting here. I need to make science. I'd rather make it over there. Now, I did not design this base to have a bus. Really didn't. But if we can get copper and iron sliding back that way, I'll be happy. One way to do that is just to bring it in like this. Now, if I automate it on that place, I won't be able to put a core composer there. I want to make sure I have space for a second core composer. So that means my science goes in like that, and this feeds into the second core composer over here. Which means I need to build my science coming in from over there. Now, I could reserve space for 2 more core composers. Let's think about that. 1, 2, 3. If I reserve 12. So this is the corner of the core composer for here. And that means this entire space would be taken up by the core composer. I think that overlaps with our stairs. Oh, it doesn't. Cool. But that does mean that everything east of the stairs is core composers, which means that this is really not what I want to do. I need to put my science over in this area here. And my belt for science. Trying to make this so that we have space. Let's eat out here. So this is the picture's the right size. That's 12. So indeed, this is where the edge of the core composer is. So we need to get a little further out. 1, 2, 3. So this is where we can start. I'm going to just mark this as this is where the belts are going into this core composer if we were going in from this direction. And we can bring this over to just above the stairs. There we go. So this row, and this row we can't build on. I'm going to have my science come over like that. Remember the goal here, automating science. I'm not going to automate the blue science yet. See, I do need to have some space to run my stuff. Let's reclaim those power floors. So if I want the iron to continue around, I need to find a different way of getting copper in. That doesn't sound like it's going to be very hard. So if the copper is going to come down that line properly, I need to... Oh, that works out well. I've got the beginnings of a bit of a bus. Well, a baby bus. And I'm going to split here to bring the copper off. Like that. Now, when we start doing blue, I'll need... If I do one machine making purple, I'll have to double that because it's two machines making purple per machine making blue. Let's get the build set up and worked out for the blue science. What do we need here? Let's put it off to the side. Purple science. The purple science, we need 15 copper wire and 30 of the mechanical parts, I guess that is. So the copper wire is easy. That it goes 1 to 1. And the mechanical parts, 15, 30. So I need 2 mechanical parts and 1 cable. Let me think. If I were to put it like that, I could put cable here, feeding in from one end, and mechanical parts, which take just ingots, feeding in from the other. And that would make it really easy for the intermediates, but it means that I need this side to have everything, and I also need copper feeding this guy in back somehow. Don't really like that. How about this? If I put my... Let's see, oh, mechanical parts need to have copper coming in and iron. So if I put one of these down here, and we have a gap in between them, I can have the copper come down between them. Yeah, let's see if that works. So iron comes into here. We're going to bring copper past. Then split copper. These guys need, let's see, 15 iron and 7.5 copper. So yeah, there's no problem at all using these to feed it in. So let's put it there. And these two need to feed their mechanical parts to the big guy. Did I get a direct feed from both of them? No, I can't. So one of these guys is going to have to go on a belt. We might as well put them both on a belt. So next thing, we put that down. He's got copper. If we want this to be a bus, we still need copper. Okay, we're not going to worry about that being a bus. There's our copper feed into our wire. He's turning out 15 wire per minute. And there's our 30 mechanical parts per minute. And now we just need the science. I kind of like the look of just putting them all one after the other in a row. Can direct feed our wire. And I'm going to just put a belt out here for the mechanical parts. So parts, wire, and purple sides. And I'm going to have this. Can I do that? Just like that. That will be turning out new science, which is going to be put inside this core composer. And I have dug some headroom for him way up there. You can see it lit up. So that's probably going to be several hundred more. And then I can put another core composer over here once I get that going. And there's our automated science coming in. Huzzah! The trick is to climb up a ladder like that and then put a 12 by 12 floor, and then walk around on the floor, and what you do is you find yourself in a square, you look straight up and you dig. And you move over a little bit and you look straight up and you dig. And I dug a little off to the side in some places. That's all right. I'm not sure how far up that goes. But remember, we had that other waterfall that went way up. I'm thinking this probably goes up at least that high. So we'll actually have science here, and then we can put more science in at the big waterfall if we want. So 7.5 science per minute. Is anybody here going to be running at less than 100%? He's going to run at 100% because he's got all the iron he wants and copper. He's got all the iron and copper, so he's running at 100%. The mechanical parts are already backed up, and he's already got more copper wire to go. So yeah, we're chunking right along, and that will just turn out our purple science. So this number is going to start to go up. But I want to open up quickly. We do want to increase our mining drill speeds, and we want to increase our smelting speed. Those are both expensive things. Pack size is 45. I just got to where I could do it. Let's increase our pack size right now. You need 200 to get our conveyor belts. That's going to be a while. So science, it's going to be 120 to research how to do blue cores. We're going to wait until we get up to that point. I'm going to see if I can fill in other things before we start making blue. I don't have very many things that require blue yet. Yeah, I've got rail runners here. Monorails are going to require blue. So when we start turning out blue science, that's when we start thinking about monorails. And that's where I really get into things that I've never done before. So 7.5 per minute. It'll be a while before I can open up anything else. So we have now automated the heck out of this. We are starting to bring that stuff in. I guess I'm going to take a little bit of time. I can stop recording now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go see if I can bring back some Atlantum ore so that we'll have that fixed up. Now we've got 47 of them, and we have a whole bunch more mining charges. Let's put the mining charges on the hotbar again. I'm going to put those as 0. We know where we found a bunch of that. Let's go get it. So there's some tricks to the mining charges, which I have found by guess and by gosh. First off, when you place them and then you explode them. And I think that cube that you see lighting up, the dim cube, I think your cursor has to be inside that, so the cube is set up, and then you hit E to detonate. Cursor's outside of it, you can't detonate. Now we're going to just work our way from top to bottom and in to out. And notice it's giving me ooh, when I exploded that, it exploded a lot. That's why I'm doing top to bottom. Because sometimes it makes a big hole. Does make a rather satisfying boom, doesn't it? So I mentioned when we were here earlier that there was something slightly different. So our this guy was not showing. It's reading it there, but doesn't read it there. So our Omni Seeker seeks these big things. The other thing I'm noticing is that our explosive charges are not affecting that square at all. So I'm suspecting that there is a upgraded miner that we need to use to mine Atlantum out of this guy. I am going to dig all around it, get all of this green stuff taken care of. Ooh, boom. Okay, there's the bottom of the cube. Is there any more? I think I got all the Atlantum I can get with the charges from that one. So I now have a little over 250 Atlantum. I need 450. But there was more up here. Now some of this is right next to the ship. Well, I'm guessing that it will be protected. Okay. Some of them are a little hard to deconstruct, unhide. Okay, apparently I can't blow up that mine where that is. That works. Still working on trying to find the top of it. Looks like this is all protected. Yep. So all the Atlantum up here is protected. Like that's protected. Wish there were a better indication of what's protected and what isn't. I don't have to waste mining charges healing it out. I could start with the area that's away from the ship and probably have a lot more success. Yeah. Oh, there's the bright green. So here's the big blob that we're going to have to use better tools on somehow. We're probably going to have more Atlantum than we need when I'm done carving this stuff. That's okay. As long as I don't get stuck in a hole. Hello. There's the detonate. Really quite a lot of it. So those are protected. So I think the rest of that is protected. And I now have, 840 Atlantum ore, which is more than I need. So let's go give that Atlantum ore to Victor, and then he will be moving forward with the iron and the copper and the processors on his own time. Now, from the way I did it, I took the final line for iron and copper before it went into the boxes, and half of that went to Victor. So we're still going to be stashing away iron and copper for our own use. And if we get impatient, we can always grab some of our personal stash from the boxes and tumble it into Victor and finish things up. But there's no need to do that until we're getting close on the processors. So there's the Atlantum units done. Glad I'm more done. And how are we doing for science? We've already got 60 more science. Ooh, what do we want to spend it on? I could increase my mole speed. If I'm going to be heading out towards X-ray, that's going to take some digging. I'm going to be heading out to RD. I think it's RD, the other contact. That also takes some digging. So let's increase the mole speed. And we've got 22 more. What else? Smelting and 35, so 85. Another 100 will get our smelting and mining increased. 200 more for that. Yeah, that'll take a while. So collect. Collect doesn't help you harvest plants. Collect grabs resources out of machines and off of belts, which is why I deactivated it. I was experimenting with it, and I don't do that much. And this would allow us to build these things. We've got some in our inventory. If I need to make some more, I can activate it and make it. And until then, I'm just going to leave it alone. I don't need to build a second core composer yet. More than one core composer is good if you want to be building multiple stacks at the same time. It might be cool to start that second stack going, but yeah, let's wait. And this is where I'm going to end the recording. When we come back, I will decide where we're going to go next. Probably it will be chasing RD or PX. Not sure which one. Probably RD. It might be interesting. They're both way far away out in that direction. I could kind of head that direction. We could do some exploring. We need to waste some time while this puts some more science up, and while I could just let the game run while I do other things, which I've done in the past. For instance, letting the ingots build up. In this case, we do have to go do that exploration, and our base is stable and producing stuff that's interesting and useful. So, yeah. I'm going to park myself over here again. I'm going to point up there at the top of the science tower. Just point at the light up there. And I will see you in the next recording. Enjoy.